Picture this. You're lying in bed at 11 p.m., telling yourself you'll just quickly check your dating apps before sleep. 3 hours later, you're still swiping, your thumb is cramping, and you've somehow managed to convince yourself that the person who ghosted you last week might have just been busy saving orphaned puppies. Sound familiar? If you're nodding along, you're not alone, and more importantly, you're not crazy. What you're experiencing is your brain literally being rewired by these digital matchmaking machines. Today we're diving deep into the neuroscience behind dating apps and uncovering the shocking truth about how Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, and every other swipe-based platform are fundamentally changing the way your brain processes love, attraction, and human connection. By the end of this video, you'll understand why you can't stop swiping, why dating feels harder than ever, and most importantly, what you can do about it. Let's start with a story that might sound eerily familiar. Sarah, a 28-year-old marketing professional, downloaded Tinder after a breakup. She figured she'd casually browse for a few weeks, maybe go on a couple of dates, and find someone special. Fast forward 6 months, and Sarah has been on 47 first dates, had countless conversations that led nowhere, and somehow feels more disconnected from genuine romance than when she started. Sarah's brain had been hijacked, and she didn't even realize it. The human brain evolved over millions of years to form deep, meaningful connections with a small tribe of people. We were designed to meet potential partners through shared communities, extended courtship rituals, and gradual relationship building. Dating apps have compressed this entire process into a split-second decision based on a single photograph. It's like trying to run modern software on ancient hardware, and the results are predictably chaotic. When you open a dating app, your brain immediately goes into what neuroscientists call a state of variable ratio reinforcement. This is the same psychological mechanism that makes gambling so addictive. You never know when you'll get a match, a message, or a particularly attractive profile. So your brain releases small hits of dopamine to keep you engaged. It's not the matches themselves that are addictive, it's the unpredictability of when they'll happen. Think about the last time you opened your dating app. Did you feel a small rush of excitement mixed with anxiety? That's your dopamine system firing up in anticipation of a potential reward. Your brain is literally treating each swipe like a pull of a slot machine lever. The app developers know this, and they've designed their platforms to maximize this exact response. The notifications, the badges, the endless scroll of faces, it's all carefully crafted to keep you hooked. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dating apps aren't just making us addicted to swiping. They're fundamentally changing how we evaluate potential partners. Traditional dating involved getting to know someone gradually, learning about their personality, values, and compatibility over time. Dating apps force us to make snap judgments based on curated photos and brief text snippets. This is training our brains to prioritize superficial attraction over deeper compatibility. Research from the University of Rochester found that people who use dating apps for extended periods show decreased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and long-term planning. Essentially, frequent dating app use is making us worse at forming lasting relationships. We're becoming more impulsive, more focused on immediate gratification, and less capable of the patience required for meaningful connections. The paradox of choice is another way dating apps are rewiring our brains. Psychologist Barry Schwartz demonstrated that having too many options actually makes us less satisfied with our choices. When you have access to thousands of potential partners, your brain starts to believe that there's always someone better just one swipe away. This creates a phenomenon called FOMO, or fear of missing out, which prevents us from fully investing in any single relationship. Jennifer, a 32-year-old teacher, perfectly illustrates this principle. She matched with David, a kind, stable guy who checked most of her boxes. They went on 3 great dates, had amazing conversations, and genuine chemistry. But Jennifer couldn't stop thinking about all the other profiles she hadn't swiped through yet. What if there was someone even better out there? What if she was settling? This anxiety eventually sabotaged her budding relationship with David. Her brain had been trained to always be searching for the next best option. The ghosting epidemic is another direct result of how dating apps are changing our brains. When meeting someone through traditional means, there were social consequences for suddenly cutting off communication. You might run into them at mutual friends' parties, or their friends might confront you about your behavior. Dating apps remove these social safety nets, making it psychologically easier to treat people as disposable. We're literally losing our empathy for the people we meet online because our brains don't register them as fully real until we meet them in person. But perhaps the most insidious way dating apps are rewiring our brains is through what psychologists call the comparison trap. Social media already had us comparing our behind-the-scenes reality to everyone else's highlight reel, but dating apps have amplified this tenfold. Every profile you see is essentially someone's dating resume, carefully crafted to present their most attractive self. Your brain starts to believe that everyone else is more successful, more attractive, and more interesting than you are. This constant comparison is literally shrinking the part of your brain associated with self-esteem and emotional regulation. Studies show that heavy dating app users report higher levels of anxiety, depression, and body image issues compared to people who meet partners through traditional methods. We're not just changing how we date, we're changing how we feel about ourselves. The attention economy that dating apps operate in is also training our brains to crave constant validation. Every like, match, and message becomes a small ego boost, but like any drug, we need increasingly larger doses to feel the same high. This is why many people find themselves taking more and more provocative photos, crafting wittier bios, and spending hours perfecting their profiles. We're becoming addicted to the validation these platforms provide. Mark, a 29-year-old software engineer, realized he was checking his dating apps over 50 times per day. He wasn't even interested in dating anymore. He just needed the dopamine hit from seeing new matches. His brain had been conditioned to associate his phone with potential romantic validation, making it nearly impossible to focus on work, friends, or hobbies without constantly checking for updates. The good news is that once you understand how dating apps are affecting your brain, you can start to take back control. Neuroplasticity means your brain can be rewired, but it takes conscious effort and time. The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to how you feel before, during, and after using dating apps. Notice the anxiety when you don't get matches, the euphoria when you do, and the emptiness when conversations fizzle out. Set specific boundaries around your dating app usage. Instead of mindlessly swiping throughout the day, designate specific times for app usage. Maybe 20 minutes after dinner or 30 minutes on Sunday afternoons. This helps retrain your brain to see dating apps as tools rather than entertainment or validation sources. Consider taking regular breaks from dating apps altogether. A digital detox allows your dopamine receptors to reset and your brain to remember what it feels like to be content without constant stimulation. Many people find that after a week or two offline, they approach dating apps with much more intentionality and less desperation. Practice mindful swiping when you do use the apps. Instead of rapid-fire swiping based on split-second judgments, slow down and really consider each profile. Ask yourself what you're looking for in a partner beyond physical attraction. Are you swiping because you're genuinely interested, or just because you're bored and seeking stimulation? Remember that the person behind each profile is a real human being with feelings, insecurities, and hopes just like you. This mental shift can help restore some of the empathy that dating apps tend to erode. If you match with someone, try to move the conversation offline as quickly as possible. The longer you stay in the app ecosystem, the more likely you are to fall into its psychological traps. Focus on quality over quantity in your dating life. It's better to have 3 meaningful conversations than 30 superficial ones. Your brain needs time to process and form genuine connections, but dating apps are designed to keep you moving to the next option before that can happen. Consider returning to more traditional forms of meeting people. Join clubs, take classes, volunteer for causes you care about, or ask friends to set you up. These methods might feel slower and less efficient than dating apps, but they're much more aligned with how your brain is designed to form lasting relationships. The ultimate irony of dating apps is that they promise to make dating easier and more efficient, but they're actually making it harder and more frustrating for most people. By understanding the neuroscience behind these platforms, you can use them more intentionally and avoid letting them rewire your brain in ways that hurt your ability to form genuine connections. Your brain is incredibly adaptable, but it needs your conscious participation to change in positive ways. Dating apps aren't inherently evil, but they're designed to maximize engagement, not successful relationships. Once you understand this distinction, you can start using these tools in ways that serve your actual goals rather than the app company's profit margins. The future of dating doesn't have to be an endless cycle of swiping, matching, and disappointment. By being more intentional about how you approach digital dating, setting healthy boundaries, and remembering that real connection takes time and patience, you can protect your brain from the negative effects of these platforms while still potentially finding meaningful relationships. Remember, the goal isn't to find someone who looks perfect in their photos and sounds charming in their messages. The goal is to find someone who you genuinely connect with, who makes you feel seen and understood, and who you're excited to build a life with. That kind of connection can't be reduced to a swipe, and it's worth protecting your brain's ability to recognize and nurture it when it comes along. If this video helped you understand the hidden psychology behind dating apps, make sure to like and subscribe for more content about the intersection of technology and human psychology. What's your experience with dating apps? Have you noticed any of these effects in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's start a conversation about how we can all date more intentionally in the digital age. Thanks for watching, and remember, your brain is more powerful than any algorithm. You just have to choose to use it.